Hello! Happy August. July is in the rearview mirror. It was a very good month of reading. I probably found my book of the year frontrunner. I read some good nonfiction, got some good manga done. Let's talk about it. July was a very busy month. I read 2 works of nonfiction, 5 novels, and 23 volumes of manga. The main novel I was reading, let's just get to it, was Blackwater by Michael McDowell, my front runner for Book of the Year so far. It is a Southern Gothic masterpiece that follows the Caskey family in Perdido, Alabama. Southern Gothic, it's creepy. It has themes centered around mental health. The family dynamics in this book are amazing. The characterization is astounding, top class. Not sure Michael McDowell has many equals. I completely understand why Stephen King called Michael McDowell the greatest writer of paperback originals in America. Rest in peace, Michael McDowell. You were gone too soon. Blackwater is something special. It mixes elements of a family drama with a political thriller with a Southern Gothic horror story. It's super slow moving, a glacial pace, but I love the character works. It's about the characters, it's about the atmosphere, it's about Perdido, Alabama. I've never been there, but I felt like I've been there. I felt like I've been living there for decades and decades. This book was released as 6 serialized novels. I finished 4 of the installments so far. I'm going to finish installment number 5 tomorrow. And yeah, absolutely amazing. Can't wait to finish Blackwater in the first 5 or 6 days of August. So Blackwater was 4 of the novels I read. The 5th novel I read was Guards by Terry Pratchett. This is the first installment in the Night's Watch sub-series in Discworld. Terry Pratchett is a master of satire. He's a master of critique. He's a master of absurdism. And Guards is a biting critique of government and how the people that live under government systems, they're willing to overlook any ill that the government does as long as they're comfortable, which is not at all relatable or relevant to today. Very funny. There's a dragon in there. There's a conspiracy. Our lovable band of misfits, the Night's Watch, including Carrot, the Sergeant, Colin? It's probably Colin. Lovable band of misfits. I can't wait to continue on to the Night's Watch sub-series. If you haven't read Discworld, and if you're American, you probably haven't even heard of Discworld, I heavily recommend you give it a try. There's over 40 books. There's like 7 sub-series. Me and the wife love it. If you like your fantasy, not overly serious, you love colorful characters and plots you can never predict, Discworld is the series for you. It's a damn shame that's never really caught on in America. But yeah, I love Discworld. Terry Pratchett amongst my favorite authors. Guards, probably 4 out of 5 stars. The first work of nonfiction I read was Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. I have mixed feelings about this book. I love the central message. The first half, I was on board 1000%. What is the central message of this book? Invest in experiences. When you have great experiences when you are younger, they pay a memory dividend, because when you look back on things from your past that make you smile, that brings enjoyment for the rest of your life. Don't spend your youthful years, don't spend your 20s, 30s, and 40s saving up money, expecting to enjoy your twilight years. There seems to be like this mass delusion that retirement years are the best years, but that's generally not the case because you're older, your health isn't as good as it used to be, you don't have as much of a capacity to enjoy yourself, and a lot of the things you want to do, you just don't have the energy to do it. So enjoy your youthful years. Invest in experiences. Live a life worth living. I'm on board 1000% with that. I'm a professional fighter. I chase after my dreams. I'm chasing after experiences. The central message, Bill Perkins, agree with you 1000%. The author is a tad bit more materialistic than me. He has to spend money on the experiences that he desires. But I'm of the belief that there are 2 ways to be happy. You could obtain more, or you could desire less. And I find that it's easier to desire less, but that's just me. Not judging you if you're differently, if you believe differently. Bill Perkins also has some interesting tips and tricks about how to prepare for your future without having to save up as much money. So the book is worth it, even if you're just looking for those tips. So if you're one of those young people who are slaving away at a job you don't like, to prepare for a retirement that you may never live to see, you live a life full of anxiety, you don't feel fulfilled, definitely read Die with Zero. It didn't teach me too much. 4 out of 5 stars probably for me, but this could be life-changing for other people. Give it a try. The second work of nonfiction I read was Deep Work by Cal Newport. Newport like the cigarettes, it's how I remember it. This is a book about how to increase your capacity to focus. Because when you could focus, you could work deeply. When you could work deeply, you could master difficult subject matter. You could gain new skills that improve yourself as an individual, that make you a more valuable person in the workplace. And in the year 2024, where everyone's addicted to social media, everyone's addicted to short, shallow entertainment, being able to focus and to work deeply is almost like a superpower. I believe this so strongly. If you're a person that doesn't really like social media and you feel like you can't focus on anything, definitely read this book. I'm already implementing a lot of the tips and tricks I've read in Deep Work into my daily life. Hopefully, I can continue doing those things so that way they can become ingrained habits. A very inspiring work, very motivating, and the author is very persuasive. He definitely has me completely sold on like avoiding as much shallow work as I can, focusing on the things that bring the most value to me. And when I do indulge in escapism, make sure it's escapism that brings fire, that brings flavor, that brings passion to my life. So it kind of paired very well with Die with Zero. Yeah, both really good works of nonfiction. I do think Deep Work was slightly better than Die with Zero, and I think Deep Work is a lot more relevant. I think a lot more people can get value from Deep Work than Die with Zero. But yeah, pretty dang good. So the books for July were good. No complaints. But July was mostly about manga. I started reading manga this year, and I'm loving it. I read 23 volumes of manga, finished 3 series, 2 series, one shot. The first series I finished in July was Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Oshimi, and this was a wild manga. This is for lovers of Bates Motel, Psycho. It depicts a very disturbing, a very toxic relationship between mother and son. The plot gets completely unhinged. This mother is incredibly abusive. Trigger warnings for gaslighting and abuse. And the plot just had me on the edge of my seat. The artwork was beautiful, particularly the facial expressions, because if you've ever been around someone who's abusive, if you've ever been around someone that's a narcissist, you just know that look in their eye, that unhinged, wild look in their eye. And the author did a very good job at portraying that in the artwork. A very beautiful, disturbing manga. The first half was amazing, 5 out of 5. I think the story kind of lost its way in the second half. It ended in a very bittersweet way that was very thematically in line of what the series was about. Blood on the Tracks, I don't regret it one bit. I'm not sure I could recommend this to too many people because it's a very dark manga, very depressing, very uncomfortable, very unsettling. It's my second Shuzo Oshimi, and I will continue to read through his bibliography because I love both things I've read from him. But yeah, completely unhinged story about toxic relationships, self-worth, finding yourself. But it's all negative, all the bad emotions. Give it a try if that's your type of thing. The second manga I read wasn't as good as Blood on the Tracks, but it was very fun. It was really short and sweet. It was a nice action manga. Green Blood by Masasumi Kazizaki. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is a revenge story. It takes place in the boroughs of New York. There's gang violence. The story follows an assassin from one of the gangs. He kills the gang's enemies. He's protecting his younger brother. He's trying to build a life for him and his brother to have a peaceful future. The action scenes are very riveting. The plot is a little pedestrian, but it's good. It's engaging. The artwork, though, astounding. Blood on the Tracks had amazing artwork. Green Blood, a level above that. Very realistic artwork, very beautiful paneling. I love the plot. It's basically 2 separate stories. The first one's just like a gang revenge story. The second one's more of a Western. And I really loved the way this manga ended. I think the falling action and the climax are pulled off masterfully. And it was only 5 volumes, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I definitely think if you're a fan of Westerns, if you're a fan of gang stories, Peaky Blinders, and I don't really watch any Westerns, but other Western media, I definitely think you could enjoy Green Blood. Worst case scenario, you lose like 4 hours of time. A very good story about brotherhood, revenge, justice, mercy, self-improvement, sacrifice, all the good themes. Definitely worth your time. 3 out of 5 stars. The final manga I read in July was a beautiful one-shot by Kaori Ozaki, and it was titled The God's Lie. This was bittersweet. This was cute. I love this one. It hit me in the feels several times. It tells the story of two young teenagers, a boy and a girl. They're two people that were raised in a household where they don't have a lot of supervision. They were forced to grow up too fast. And there's nothing sadder than children who never got the opportunity to be children. These children end up being a support for each other. They help each other grow up. They help each other learn what a healthy relationship looks like. They're a support. And there's maybe a budding romance. We're not quite sure. There's a mystery about what happened in this girl's past. And yeah, very bittersweet, very beautiful. I loved the ending of this manga. It was perfect. A little open-ended, but open-ended in a way where you can perfectly deduce what's going to happen. All the emotions, bittersweet, support, sacrifice, love, friendship, perspective, distracted parents who in 2024 can't relate to that. Think our parents are infallible, and then we learn that they're not. And then you tell yourself you're going to be a better parent when that happens, and you realize you're not infallible. It's a cycle. The parenthood-childhood dichotomy. The God's Lie captured all these emotions. Definitely worth your time. Could read it in less than 2 hours. I think it's five chapters in one volume. Beautiful work. So, what are the plans for the month of August? We're going to read some damn good books. I'm not sure what I'm going to read. I'm abandoning TBRs for the foreseeable future, probably for the rest of the year. I feel like whenever I list out like 4 or 5 books I want to focus on, I never get around to it. And then I feel anxious. And then I feel guilty for not finishing the books I planned on finishing. And I'm a mood reader. That's just how I am. I want to read according to my mood for the next few months, perhaps the rest of the year. And I think I'll end up reading more. I think it'll make it easier for me to find motivation to make videos for the channel. And I think I'll be having better conversations about what I'm reading with you guys, the viewer. So yes, no more TBRs. I also started doing like a virtue of the week with the reading vlogs. And I'm going to do a better job at planning out what I'm going to read like on the Sunday before the week and trying to like align it with the virtue of the week. So that way I'm not trying to like reach and trying to like force connections between the virtue of the week and what I am reading. But yes, I'm being more productive. I'm building better habits in my professional life and in my life as a content creator. July was a great month, but August is going to be so much better. And I can't wait to enjoy it. I can't wait to talk to you guys more about it as time goes on. I can't wait to see what the stories have in store for me. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. What is the book of the month? It's Blackwater by Michael McDowell. I'm pretty sure that was clear. It's my front runner for the book of the year, but if it wasn't easily deduced, that's my book of the month. Maybe August will have a book of a similar quality. I won't pick Blackwater twice, even though I technically haven't finished it, but I couldn't in good conscience pick any other book as my book of the month.